Are you ready?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The last position group, if my friend William here can make it through it, he might have malaria, smallpox, the bubonic plague, and the Spanish flu all at the same time, he thinks.
All at the same time. Tuberculosis is
Oh, yeah.
trickled in there. But I'm a warrior. We're going to battle through this.
The bronchitis, make sure you get treated for that one too.
You know what? I'm very susceptible to getting bronchitis. I probably should.
I'm on the Wikipedia page for epidemics and plagues. Let's see. In the 1600s, there was the London plague. Well, that was the bubonic plague. Yellow fever. That's a good one. Yellow fever.
Yellow fever. Yeah.
What's the one that everybody always died from in the Oregon Trail?
Dysentery.
Yeah.
But that's just diarrhea.
Do you have that one?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
You know why I don't have diarrhea? Because this weekend, Memorial Weekend, in order to honor the troops, I painted my kids' rooms. And my daughter wanted a pink room. And, buddy, it's Pepto-Bismol pink. So I tell you what I don't have. I don't have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, or diarrhea. Everything else I got. Those things I don't. So shout out to my daughter.
What a great song that was, the Pepto-Bismol song.
It's fantastic. But jingles back in the day. You know what the best jingle of all time was? K9 and Vanix. Do you remember that one?
Yes. The dog singing at the camp.
Hello, mother. Hello, father.
FreeCreditReport.com had some good ones too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. FREE. That spells free FreeCreditReport.com, baby. There we go.
There was
who's good like that anymore?
Nobody's got the jingles down anymore.
That's what I'm gonna tell these kids. Kids these days, they don't know about jingles.
Nobody's vibing with the jingles as much. They should. If you want to sell things, you need to have a good jingle. Will, we need a good jingle.
We do need it. I'll come up with one.
We'll work on it.
You know who does have the best commercials right now is Allstate with the Mr. Chaos or whatever. Those are funny.
Yeah.
Is it Mr. Chaos? What's his name?
I don't watch much TV in the off season. We're kind of a streaming family here because
those are those get played 5 million times during football season.
That's fair. They do. I would say that we do streaming, but the last TV show that my wife and I watched was one season, and it took us 2 weeks to watch one season that had 10 episodes in it. So we're not really much of a TV people either. We're usually doing literally anything else. Projects everywhere. Researching college football. Showing her Noel Devine highlights.
She needs to know.
Hey, I haven't talked about this yet. Now we told everybody, so I'm officially ready to say it here. What's the first thing as I'm getting ready to be a dad here, September 6th? I'll officially say it now. We've told other people. Everybody needs to know now. Do I need to bring my child home and just put Tavon Austin highlights on?
Absolutely.
Is that the first thing?
No, the first needs to be Ohio State, since you're an Ohio State guy. If you put on Tavon Austin, you risk the baby getting Tavon Austin disease and then becoming a West Virginia fan.
There's a 19-minute video from when they won the national championship, from the beginning of the playoff to the end. Okay, so we start with that one, and then we go to the Tavon Austin highlights.
Yep. That's a good segue. And then
I show them the good, but then I show them the bad, and I show them the 9 overtime Illinois Penn State game.
No, you show them Clemson's comeback against Ohio State in the playoffs.
No, we go to the 9 overtime Illinois Penn State game where they can't score on 2-point conversions.
What was it? Was it Virginia Tech and Wake Forest? Was that the 3-0 game or 2-0 game?
Oh, yeah, the Wake Forest. Yeah, Frank Beamer has both of his arms up.
Yep, that's it.
We can also do the 7 overtime game between LSU and A&M.
That's not bad though.
No, that one's actually very good.
Your kid needs to know ball, and if you watch that one, they won't know ball because knowing ball is also playing defense.
Yeah,
you got to show Ohio State. Man, were y'all ever good in the 2000s? I can't think of any time. Troy Smith highlights have to hit your screen at some point. Terrell Pryor has to hit your screen. Zeke, obviously Carlos Hyde. I mean, Curtis Samuel. You've got some time.
There's plenty of people. We can just go day by day. Here, day zero, we start with a number 0. We just start with the number 0. Day 1, we go to a player who wore number 1. Day 2, we go to a player.
Send Jake 99 days of players of highlights that he has to watch with his kid. 0 to 99. So the jersey has to match the day.
That's fair. I think as here's the issue. Here's the issue. So child's due in September. I think we'll be okay, but if for some reason the child's late, there's a real chance I could be watching Ohio State, Texas in a hospital bedroom.
I don't know what to tell you, Jake. That could be rough. But don't put those evils out into the world. You can't speak that into existence.
It could be the first weekend, and Ohio State plays Ball State, and I mean, I can miss that. I can get the updates on my phone on that one. Mm-hmm. Also, it could be a great distraction. Could be an absolute great distraction.
It could be a great distraction. Oh, Texas is because then you blame the kid. It's the whole thing.
No, if it's Ohio State, Ball State. If it's Ohio State versus Ball State, great distraction.
Yeah.
Ohio State opening as a 49.5-point favorite in that game.
You're teaching little walk-on redshirt. Like, hey, this is what we have to look forward to. Did
you see Jeremiah Smith just score? Did you see him just score again? Did you see Jeremiah Smith score his 3rd touchdown in the first quarter?
Yep. He's about to break all the Big Ten records.
Yeah, did you see that today? I put out a tweet where he needs 1,000 yards and 13 touchdowns to break the Big Ten receiving yards and touchdown record, which he would do in 3 seasons. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, let's go into the guys that have to try to guard Jeremiah Smith, the safeties and cornerbacks. For anybody listening, we decided to do this as a joint one. Honestly,
good segue, by the way. Good segue.
Thanks. I didn't even plan that. It just naturally came to me. We did cornerbacks and safety. So I don't know how you did yours. I think you can look at them positional value wise of, a superb safety, versus a superb cornerback. Who is going to make a bigger impact? I'm guessing your number 1 is going to be the same as my number 1, though.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Leonard Moore.
Ashton Hampton. Oh, no. It's Leonard Moore.
I think this one's a pretty easy one when you talk about players. 6'2" cornerback at Notre Dame. I mean, one of the best cornerbacks in the country. Held his opponents to 46.5% completion percentage. He has forced 21 incompletions and has 7 interceptions. And he was a unanimous All-American as a sophomore. Consensus top cornerback, in my opinion, entering the 2026 season.
I think the craziest thing is he had 5 picks and 12 pass breakups.
Yes.
I mean, he'd be playing receiver if he didn't have 12 pass breakups. He should have 17 picks. So that should have knocked him down on my list.
So you look at his game log. So he had 5 interceptions. 1 came against Texas A&M. 2 came against Boise State, which Boise State was still a strong team last year. 1 came against Syracuse, and I'm pretty sure he scored like almost immediately in the beginning of the game. And then 1 came against Stanford. Obviously, he had 2 passes defended against Texas A&M. Huge game, and they needed him. Unfortunately, the rest of the defense didn't play as great in that game because if they win that game, obviously, if they make the extra point to go to overtime, they still might make the playoff. Everybody forgets that. They missed the extra point. But overall, I mean, he was a lockdown corner for Notre Dame. He is the definition of best cornerback number 1, going to be one of the top picks in the NFL draft, going to probably be the favorite for the Jim Thorpe Award this year.
The craziest thing about him, Jake, is he's got size. He's got weight. He's got speed. He can literally do – he's a good man-to-man corner. He's a good zone corner. He's not afraid to tackle. He had 48 this year. All-around football player at the cornerback position. And the reason I think a lockdown corner is the most valuable thing you can have on defense because it literally takes away a portion of the offense completely. A lot of times quarterbacks won't even throw to him. I mean, and with stats like that, you'd have to think no one's going to be – this year his stats are going to go down in terms of pass breakups and interceptions because no one's going to throw it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very, very high on Leonard Moore this year. Leonard Moore.
Yeah, a cornerback who goes against the top receiver and finishes with something like 22 tackles on the year and, one interception, a handful of pass breakups, it means they weren't getting thrown on.
Yeah, and you know what? I'll say this too. Notre Dame is also probably has the best secondary in the country this year. I'm like racking my
that's
brain.
not even a hot take. That is very realistic. I think they have the best secondary in the country.
I mean, I have another Notre Dame player on here, and the other team that I think could hold a candle to them and be close would be Oregon. I have two players from Oregon on my list as well. No spoilers, but I'm gonna spoil that a little bit. So yeah, Notre Dame is going to be a legitimate title contender this year, and Leonard Moore is going to be one of the reasons for that.
That defense is just going to be incredible. I mean, when you talk about the linebackers and the secondary, I don't remember what they did have one edge rusher that we had on our list. Linebackers, though, there was multiple guys. You had Drake Bowen. You had
Kingston Villamil
Asa, who was also there. They've got one other who I'm blanking on, their other linebacker, who's another solid player coming back.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on it, but I know they have a third one right there who's coming back as well. But the secondary, incredible. Notre Dame, this is the year for them. It sets up perfectly. I feel like before, I don't want to get too much on Notre Dame rant here, but I feel like before, Marcus Freeman got there and the end of the Brian Kelly era, even year 1 and 2 of the Marcus Freeman era, it was just kind of a rotation of quarterbacks. You had some weird ones in there. You like Jack Cohn in there at one point. Sam Hartman was fine. Riley Leonard was fine. CJ Carr is the best of that group, and it feels like now all the pieces are starting to come together. They've always been really good in the trenches. Now that they're starting to get better at all the other positions too.
Yep.
All right, number 2, who you got?
I got KJ Bolden out of Georgia.
Okay.
I think he's the best safety. The next person's also safety, and it's very close between those two. But in terms of like complete package of a defensive player, KJ Bolden would probably be the closest thing you could get to Caleb Downs. And I know people are going to get Caleb Downs is going to get overused. His name's going to get overused in terms of comparisons. But that's the style of play that KJ Bolden has. Ferocious tackler. I mean, just a phenomenal tackler in that Georgia backfield. 5 pass breakups, 76 tackles as a defensive back is crazy. Had a block kick, 2.5 tackles for loss, 2 picks. He made plays everywhere. All SEC player last year, and I mean, he's perfect for safety because he can run sideline to sideline with anybody. But then when he comes up in the box, he plays in the box like a linebacker. So he's one of those hybrid safeties that you can use. Like, you don't know what the package is when he's on the football field.
Yeah, I like KJ Bolden a lot. He is not my number 2. I actually have Bray Hubbard at Alabama as my number 2. Bray Hubbard, 74 tackles as the safety for Alabama last year. 2 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 4 interceptions, 8 passes defended. Kind of a do-everything guy for Alabama last year. Keon Saab was on the other side. Of course, Caleb Downs would have been there if he had not transferred out. But in their bigger games, he had a lot of tackles. First game against Georgia, 9 tackles, 1 forced fumble. Against Wisconsin, he had 2 interceptions. Against Auburn, he had an interception for 34 yards. Against Missouri, he had an interception. He was making plays all year long. And to me, Alabama has to take a step forward. Their defense was good at times. It definitely slipped throughout the year, and part of it was just because their rushing attack could never figure anything out. So they ended up being on defense more than they probably should have. But I think Bray Hubbard is going to be a very important part of this Alabama defense this year. If they're going to make a run and be a competitive team in the SEC, they're going to be relying on their secondary.
Yeah, absolutely. Statistically, Bray Hubbard had a better season than KJ Bolden, so I don't fault you for that at all.
Yeah. He was a do everything. All right, you're number 3.
Koi Pond, baby. Koi Parrish out of Oregon, safety out of Oregon, transferred over from Minnesota. One of the most dynamic safeties in the country. Last year had a down year compared to his freshman year, but still All-American candidate, really, really good football player, 6'1", 185 junior. Had 82 tackles last year, a pick, 3 TFLs, and his pick was a pick 6. Stats weren't padded like I thought they would be. I mean, he plays up closer in the box than he does in the backfield. His second year than he did his first year. I think Oregon's going to ask him to be that do-it-all safety again, that guy who can come out and play in the box, that guy who can play back, the guy who can just keep offensive play callers guessing on what the package is on the defense. So, again, my first two safeties off the board are both guys who can confuse offensive coordinators on top of making any play on the freaking football field. And when you talk Coy Parrish, you have to talk his ability with the football in his hand after the interceptions. Like when he gets the ball in his hand, he is unbelievable. He's one of my most favorite players to watch. What a wonderful sentence.
My number 3 is another Oregon player, but not Coy Parrish. I have Brandon Finney Jr. as my number 3 here.
I have him next, so I'm right there with you.
He led the nation in completion percentage, allowing just 18%.
Remind everybody.
What, true freshman.
True freshman. There you go. Remind the people.
True freshman. 38 targets, only allowed 18% completion. Finished with 42 tackles, 3 interceptions, a pick 6, 2 forced fumbles, a fumble, and he played 15 games as a true freshman. Helped Oregon shut out Texas Tech.
2 picks in that game, by the way.
Yes. Brandon Finney had an incredible season as a true freshman. One of the best defensive backs in the country, and he was 18 years old last year. His other interception came against Indiana and was returned for a touchdown.
Yep.
So obviously they lost that game, but big time play, intercepting the Heisman Trophy winner and taking it back for a touchdown in a spot where it could have flipped the momentum. Now Indiana ended up taking care of business, but a spot where it could have changed momentum. Here, Brandon Finney was stepping up in a big time to make a big time play. You want to talk about if Leonard Moore is number 1, Brandon Finney is already slotted as the number 1 heading in 27.
Yeah, and I want to add this too. If Brandon Finney, if like he had done this 2 years in a row, like had such a great season 2 years in a row, he would by far be my number 2. The reason the other guys are in front of him is because they've stacked years. Mm-hmm. We've seen Brandon Finney have a phenomenal year. I mean, and phenomenal doesn't even hold a candle to what he did in terms of completion percentage. I got to see him do it again. I think 4 is a good spot for me, but I don't fault you for having him at 3. I wouldn't fault you for having him at 2. He's a phenomenal football player.
Yeah. I mean, there's always the concern of a sophomore slump, but I don't see any reason why Finney is going to take a step back this year. And Oregon, you already talked about one of their secondary. They're loaded on defense where he's not having to rely and do it himself. He's not going to have to lock down number 1 corner or number 1 wide receiver every single game by himself. Like there's going to be help for him. All right. You already talked. We got to your number 4. Is there anything else you want to say about Brandon Finney before I go to my number 4?
The only thing I want to add is his size. So he didn't just do this overcompensating for a shorter guy. Dude, 6'2", 185. He came in to Oregon as a collegiate ready, size and build. And honestly, that size and build plays in the NFL right now. So he is tailor-made to play football, specifically the cornerback position. Very good press cover man. Would like to see him maybe get a little bit better in his own, but who freaking cares? If you can play man, I love it.
Hey, if you can play man and lock up another wide receiver, that's a great thing for a defense. My number 4 here, I'm going down to the SEC. I got Kelly Jones out of Mississippi State. What you think about that?
I like that. I'm really close.
You know he's 6. You know he's 6'4".
Yeah, he's a big.
He is 6'4". That is a long, rangy corner. He allowed just 11 completions, 21.7% against him. Tied for the best in the SEC. He had 34 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 11 pass breakups. I mean, 6'4", that is massive. On a Mississippi State team that was not great by any means last year, and you have an absolute bright spot at cornerback who is shutting down opposing number 1s. That is very great to have for a Mississippi State team that's looking to make a push in the 3rd year of Jeff Lebby here.
Jake, we're almost in lockstep. That's your second one in a row we've been one off. Kelly Jones is my number 5. And again, it's the size. But the thing I really want to highlight, He's out of my top 10. He's second in pass breakups. Had 11 pass breakups, and a lot of those have to do with that length that he has. You cannot throw the football in his direction. You can't do
He's
it.
so rangy, so long. Like 6'4" as a corner. Like you look through, like all my guys that I have on here, 6 foot, 6'1", couple at 6'2". He stands out at 6'4".
Yeah.
Like that is a very tall cornerback at 6'4", like a $195. The only reason he weighs $195 is because he's 2 inches taller than everybody else.
He can run too. I mean, his best asset is that he plays man defense as well. So it's great. Usually those taller guys are ones that are going to be more zone cover guys, but nope, but he can run.
My number 5, I'm going over to Georgia. I got Ellis Robinson here.
Oh, my honorable mention.
So I have Ellis Robinson. He has – so I think Ellis Robinson is a fantastic cornerback for Georgia. You already talked about at cornerback. Last year, he had 4 interceptions. He only had 20 tackles. He had 7 passes defended. He was fantastic for the Bulldogs last year. And I think you're just going to see another productive season for him. He was a redshirt freshman because he didn't play in enough games his first year. He had 3 tackles his first year. But having 7 passes defended and 4 interceptions, I mean, you're talking about a cornerback who is going to be able to make plays for you all year long. And they were spread out throughout the year. Interception against Kentucky, interception against Georgia Tech, a Georgia Tech game that was very close. 2 passes defended against Alabama, pass defended against Texas, Florida, Auburn, Kentucky, Alabama again. Like, was doing the things all year long. It's not just like he stacked a couple games in a row. This was consistency all year long.
Yeah, I should have had him on my list. I don't.
You know, you do this every time. Hey, I should have had this guy on my list.
When I'm looking through here, I'm like, I don't know who I would replace. Maybe my 10th guy, but Ellis, he's a freaking phenomenal football player.
It's fair. Since we stacked safeties and cornerbacks, there are going to be a couple guys that do get left off this list.
Yeah. Sue me.
Okay, so we're up to 6 already. Who is your number 6?
I got Marcus Ratcliffe out of Texas A&M, 6 foot 190 safety. Had 65 tackles and 3 tackles for loss and 3 pass breakups last year. I can't remember if he had transferred last year or the year before.
It was the year before. He's had been in Texas A&M for 2 seasons now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he's proven that he can play at this level. Phenomenal football player. I think what he does tackling in the box oversights what he does in coverage. He's kind of a liability right now in coverage. He's got the ability. He's got the speed. I just think he needs to develop a little bit more in terms of pass coverage, which is weird. I'm sitting here talking about a safety and in my top 10 that struggles in coverage a little bit. But when I say struggles, I'm saying struggles again compared to the other top 10. But in terms of tackling, he's one of the better tacklers in the country.
So I didn't have Marcus Ratcliffe on here for a reason, because I looked at Ratcliffe. But so last year, he didn't force any turnovers. And as a safety in the top 10, I think you have to have some sort of ball skills, whether that be, able to intercept the ball or be able to force a fumble. He has interceptions in his career, but last year you look at it and the box scores are kind of a little empty. And I know that it doesn't always come down to the box scores. You can't just be a box score watcher, but having 66 tackles, 3 pass breakups, but no sacks, no forced fumbles, no interceptions. Like, I need you to do more than just be out in coverage and just tackle guys when they catch the ball. Like, I need you to be more of a playmaker. So that's why I didn't have him. I do think he is a really good safety, but I did not have him in my top 10 for that reason.
Yeah, that's fair. And out of my list, he is the only one without a turnover. So it makes sense.
So my number 6, we're going back to Alabama. I got Zabian Brown here. And Zabian Brown, I think in my head, still kind of lives up to having the interception against Georgia 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But last year, he finished the season with 39 tackles, 5 pass breakups, a forced fumble, 2 interceptions, and 2 touchdowns. Both of his interceptions were returned for touchdowns. 149 yards in returns. One of them being a
shame.
99-yarder against Tennessee. On the goal line, returns it for 99 yards against Tennessee. Also had the pick 6 against Oklahoma to restart that resurgence because Alabama was down big early. And all of a sudden, that pick 6 put them right back in it. And Xavier Brown, I think, is a great cornerback. He started 2 full seasons now, heading into his 3rd season as a starter. 6'2" or 6 foot, my bad, 6 foot, buck 90. I think Xavier Brown, you've got Ray Hubbard, you've got Xavier Brown, you've also got Keon Saab, who's a solid safety back there. I think Alabama is going to have one of the better secondaries in the country.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's another one of your multiplayer secondaries. So Alabama, Georgia, Oregon, Notre Dame, all these secondaries are going to be fan-freaking-tastic. And if you want to win in today's game, you better have a damn good secondary. Ask Clemson last year.
Especially in some of these leagues where you're going to be facing some solid quarterbacks. I'm not saying the SEC's quarterbacks right now are overwhelming, but you've got guys who are going to be able to push the ball. You've got a Marcel Reed. You've got Arch Manning. You've got John Mateer. You got Sam Levitt. You've got Trinidad Chambliss. Like, you've got Gunnar Stock. You've got guys who can throw the ball and sling it.
More so, you've got freaking receivers all over the place. I mean, Ryan Wingo, Cam Coleman. Just to name 2 off the top of my head. Georgia doesn't really have those big time guys. If Ryan Williams, I forget what he added to his last name, Ryan Coleman Williams or whatever.
Yeah, Ryan Coleman Williams.
He's fantastic when he gets his head on straight. Florida's got some damn good receivers down there. So I mean, the SEC is deep in terms of pass catchers. Nick Harbor over there at South Carolina. I mean, they're just loaded with talent and pass catchers. Brace Daly, Mike Matthews over there at Tennessee. I mean, every single team you talk about, there's at least one household name in their pass catching room.
Isaiah Satanga over at Oklahoma is another good one. All right. So that was your 6, wasn't that? Am I correct? We just talked about no. We just talked about my 6. It's your 7. Yeah.
My 7 is a transfer from Southern Miss, Corey Myrick, over at Clemson. 6'3", 200-pound junior. And this is a prove-it year for him. This is a money-making year for him. PFM had him rated as the best safety in terms of pass coverage. Pass coverage safety rating. 92 tackles last year. So not only can he cover you,
that's a lot of tackles for a safety.
That is a lot of tackles for a safety. And you know what Clemson struggled in last year? Tackling in the backfield. So you get a guy that had 92 tackles. I think that might help you a little bit. 2 picks, 4.5 TFLs, 4 pass breakups, and 1 fumble. So that's 3 turnovers right there in 2 different ways. So I like a guy who can do it everywhere. Again, he's physical, he's fast, he's got range, he can tackle. Obviously, he's tied with the most tackles on my list from this group. My other one is someone I think you've already named, and I just can't wait to see him play in Death Valley this year. I try not to be biased on this one, but this guy can just freaking flat out play football.
Maybe a little biased.
A little biased.
Maybe a little biased. All right, number 7, I got KJ Bolden here. We already talked about him. You want to talk about a do everything guy for Georgia. Ellis Robinson is that lockdown corner. KJ Bolden is what do you need me to do, coach? And I'll go do that. And you already talked about him a ton. 76 tackles, 2 interceptions, 5 pass breakups. He had a double-digit tackle game against Ole Miss in the Sugar Bowl. He's got 135 career tackles. I mean, this guy is going to be probably the leader of this defense. Well, it's hard to say he's going to be a leader when they've got tons of great guys on this defense, but I think he's going to be one of the leaders, if not the main leader on the defense.
Would you say that Georgia's defense plays very fast and reckless?
They do.
Okay, I'm just wondering.
Is there a reason why you went with those 2 terms?
No.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, because that describes the defensive backfield and the entire roster on and off the field.
Just it's always fast. Everything's fast. Everything's fast. All right, you're number 8.
Tay Johnson at Notre Dame, another safety. I'm a little safety ridden in this one. I get a little excited about my safeties.
You're definitely more safety, and I'm more cornerback.
Yeah, which normally I would be in the same camp as you, but c'est la vie. So Tay Johnson, a younger guy, 48 tackles last year. Again, he's not a Corey Myrick with 92 tackles, but 48 tackles as a true freshman is not too shabby when you're playing for Notre Dame. 4 picks, 1 pick six, three pass breakups. Extremely explosive. I believe his pick six. No, it didn't come against Texas A&M. I forget who it came against, but he's just someone that's just going to be a good contributor on a already loaded defensive backfield, and there's not going to be pressure on any one person on Notre Dame's defense to do it all. So therefore, Tay Johnson is going to be able to play free, and when you've got a young guy who can play free, who has the ability, I see his stats just getting a lot better. And if you're not throwing at Leonard Moore, you're going to have to throw somewhere, and you better not miss high because Tay Johnson's going to be there to make you pay.
Yeah, Tay Johnson, another fantastic one for Notre Dame. I mean, we talked about their secondary. I don't have Tay Johnson on here, but I 100% understand why anybody would have Tay Johnson on their top 10 list. So my number 8 here, I have Amari Farrell out of Indiana, safety. Indiana had arguably the best secondary in the country last year when you talk about pass defense. And Amari Farrell was one of the better players on that secondary. Had 4 interceptions, 6 pass breakups on the national championship team. He also had 4 interceptions in 2024. He has 8 interceptions on the team. And he's one of the most consistent producers coming back for an Indiana defense, which I think is going to be strong again. So I am kind of projecting a little bit for Amari Farrell. I think he's going to take a little bit more of a step forward. He only had 46 tackles, but I think he is going to take a step forward here again. I think Indiana is going to need him to be that playmaking safety for them. And that's why I have him here on my top 10.
Yeah, someone's got to fill the big shoes of Pons. I forget Pons' first name.
D'Angelo Pons.
You know, although he's not a big man, he's got some big shoes.
Pons played corner, but if Farrell plays safety, but somebody's going to have to make those plays. All right. You're number 9.
You've already talked about him. I think he was your number 2. Bray Hubbard. Maybe I'm a little low on him statistically. If you talk about box score watching, 92 tackles, 4 picks, 8 pass breakups, 3 forced fumbles. The dude just makes plays in every facet of the game. And then obviously playing in the SEC, that makes it a little bit more. It just means more down there, Jake, you know? It just means more in the SEC.
Just means more.
Just means more. But Bray Hubbard is one of those guys that you really would like to build a defense around because he's able to help in so many different ways. Again, this is why I get so excited about safeties that can really play both in the box and in the backfield. Because, again, I've said it so many times, when these guys are on the football field, you don't know what package is in there. Are they in their nickel? Are they in their dime? Or is it just a normal base front? You don't know. Is Bray Hubbard playing close? It helps disguise things in a way that you can't guess. And when you have these guys thinking, these young quarterbacks are prone to make mistakes. The more you make them think, the more mistakes are going to be made. And Bray Hubbard is a guy who will make you make a mistake either by picking you off or laying a leg on you. And you don't want to make a mistake around Bray Hubbard.
Yeah, you know how I feel about Bray Hubbard. He's way higher. I have somebody you already talked about at my number 9. I got Coy Parrish, the Koi Pond here. I have him lower because his freshman year, I think he set such a high standard with 5 interceptions. Last year, he only had 1. I think I expected a little bit more from him, and maybe that was Minnesota. Maybe that was the defense. Maybe it was just, he had 82 tackles. He was obviously, getting tons of tackles. He had 3 games with at least 10 tackles in there, but only 1 interception, only 1 forced fumble, which I want to see him do a little bit more because we've seen him be more dynamic. He had 5 interceptions in his freshman year. At Oregon, though, I think he's really going to fill that Dylan Thieneman spot. Obviously, Dylan Thieneman was a first-round pick. I think Coy Parrish obviously has a very good chance to be that exact same guy. And honestly, I think he can be used in a ton of different ways. We've seen Coy Parrish play offense and play special teams as a returner. I don't know if he's necessarily be asked to do that at Oregon, but we know he has the ability to do so. So I am still very high on Coy Parrish. Obviously, I have him in my top 10. But if he had a little bit of a better season last year, I think I would have had him closer to that top 5. But I don't even want to say it's a bad season. He just wasn't as dynamic as he was his freshman year.
I panicked. I wanted to go talk about him being in the return game when I was talking about him earlier, and I panicked. I was like, wait a minute. No, he didn't return. I'm getting him confused. No, he definitely did. So thank you for talking about that.
Yeah, he had 7 catches for 89 yards last year too. So like they used him on offense. Do they really need to use him on offense? No, it just felt like they did it just because. But no, they didn't actually need to use him.
Minnesota probably did.
Maybe. Side note, I saw something the other day where somebody projected Drake Lindsay to be a first-round pick next year. And I guess maybe I haven't watched enough Minnesota football to say, yeah, they have a first-round quarterback on their team. Like, I thought Lindsay was fine. They went 8-5 last year, but like, they never really looked like they had this incredible offense at any point last year.
No, but he did show he was formidable. Maybe not a first-round pick formidable, but he was formidable.
63% completion, 18 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. I mean, that's fine. 2,300 yards. I think he was a redshirt freshman last year. Yeah, he was a redshirt freshman last year, so maybe he gets better. I wouldn't call him a first-round pick right now, though. I'm not even sure what their offense will look like. Anyways, number 10. Number 10 for you.
This is bias, and then also projecting Ashton Hampton. He's going to be the corner over at Clemson this year, 6'2", 200. One of the bright spots in a bad year for Clemson. 45 tackles, 1 pick, 3 TFLs, 1 sack, 9 pass breakups. There was a couple of times where a game could have gone another way, had one of those pass breakups turn into a pick. I'm banking on this year some of those pass breakups turning into picks because this guy has ball skills. One of the first games he played significant snaps in, was back in 2024 against NC State, and he had a pick 6 on the quarterback there, and his name is slipping on my mind. MJ Morris? No. Who's the quarterback there right now?
Where?
NC State.
CJ Bailey.
CJ Bailey. Thank you. Good gracious. So I see Ashton Hampton taking a big step forward. I mean, he's played 2 seasons of football, 72 tackles, 3 interceptions, 13 pass breakups. So he's got the ability. He's in a secondary that has to play better. They were 120th in the country last year. They went and just revamped the entire thing. The entire secondary is different. And I think Ashton Hampton will be the straw that stirs the drink if that defense ends up being good.
Yeah, so my last one here, I have Jair Hill out of Michigan, cornerback. Last year finished with 24 tackles. Actually, my bad, 36 tackles, 24 solo tackles. 3 tackles for loss of safety, interception, 5 pass breakups, forced fumble. He actually probably was better in 2024. But in 2025, he still had a really solid season. I think we're going to see an improvement for him because I think Michigan has a real coaching staff this year. Not that, the assistant coaches weren't good, but I think at the helm, you're going to have a better leadership stance. And I think having a guy like Jair Hill, who had pass breakers throughout the year, had an interception against Ohio State, I think this is a guy who can really be a solid piece on Michigan's defense heading into this year, especially when they are playing against some potentially stronger quarterback play this year. I think Michigan is going to need a lockdown corner. They play potential first-round pick Drake Lindsay. Can't forget about that one. But they also have John Mateer. They've got Rocco Becht. You've got Josh Hoover. You've got Nico Iamaleava, you've got Dante Moore, and you've got Julian Sain. Like, you have some solid quarterbacks coming in here. That's not to mention you are also going to go against Rutgers, who has KJ Duff and Ian Strong. You're also going to go against Iowa, who is you're just playing run defense the whole time. So, there is some solid quarterbacks on this schedule that Michigan is going to need to compete with. And you're going to need a guy like Jair Hill to be able to contend with these top wide receivers on each of these programs.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, I forgot about Jair Hill. He's someone who just steady Eddie, does his job very, very well. And last year in the Big Ten, Michigan was kind of an afterthought for a lot of people, and but there were still some key bright spots, and a guy like Jair Hill, I think he could end up being a big time draft pick this year if he has another good year.
He's just the butter to the butter knife.
All right, because they have a quarterback coach now, can they afford to have a defensive back coach?
Well, Jair Hill might not need a defensive back coach at this point. He probably just teaches himself.
They said the same thing about Bryce Underwood.
Yeah, but he wasn't a 3-year player. All right, who's your honorable mention?
We already talked about Ellis Robinson before. Should have had him on there. 4 picks, 7 back pass breakups as a freshman last year. Just a freaking phenomenal football player. He's got size, he's got speed, he's got everything you want, and he plays for Georgia in Kirby Smart, which all they do is pump out phenomenal defensive players. So Ellis Robinson is my honorable mention.
I'm going Evan Johnson over at BYU. 6-foot cornerback. So he had 5 interceptions, 13 pass breakups, and 9 tackles for loss last year. I think. Let me make sure those aren't career stats, because there's a chance those are career stats.
Are you on BYU stand this year?
Yeah, maybe I am. Yeah, no, he actually did have 5 interceptions, a touchdown, and a sack last year. I think he probably doesn't get enough love because playing at BYU, comparatively, we're talking about who is he going against. When you go back and look at who they faced, 2 of his interceptions came against ECU. One of them came against UCF. One of them came against Rocco Becht, and then one came against Georgia Tech in the bowl game. So, you weren't intercepting Texas Tech. You didn't intercept Arizona. You didn't intercept some of these other Josh Hoover, TCU. You didn't intercept Utah, some lower side. But he had 47 tackles last year. It's a lot for a cornerback.
Yeah, not too shabby.
Having a sack in there. Evan Johnson, I think, is a guy that you're going to hear more about, especially BYU, if they are going to be as good as we think they might be this year.
Yeah.
I'm high on BYU.
Yeah, I think you are.
I like BYU, especially with Brendan Sorsby not possibly playing this year. BYU, looking a little bit better.
The court denied him today.
Court did deny him, shockingly, that you're not allowed to bet on your own team and still be allowed to play. I am absolutely stunned.
Dude, but it was bonding.
Yeah, it was team bonding. Team bonding. That's the way to view it.
Guess
that's
we can't
view it.
Bond with the boys anymore.
Can't bond with the boys by sitting here and just throwing a couple bucks on us to win on the weekend. You can't do that anymore.
Damn shame. We used to be a fine country, Jake. Used to be a fine country.
Used to be. Well, that does it for this week's episode. If you're not doing so already, make sure to go subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you're getting your content. Follow us on social media at the Walk On Redshirts. Go to thewalkonredshirts.com. Go play the new trivia game if you haven't done so already.
Yes.
I forget. It's the Blitnikoff Award winners of the last 15 years. We're going to switch that up here soon. Probably going to do Doak Walker Award winners. That one might be kind of tough for everybody.
Oh, you know what? I never submitted my answers on the Blitnikoff. I need to go do it. Now I get to do it. This is a good reminder.
Probably should go do it. But make sure you go follow Will at Walk On Moose on Twitter, and we'll be back again next week. We have no idea what we're going to talk about yet, but we'll have that figured out by next week.
Or if I'll even be there because of my bubonic plague.
Bubonic plague might be a solo podcast starting next week.
Yeah.
We'll see everybody
soon. Nice knowing y'all.